Oh, excuse me for that. All right, man. Hello again. It's Clad T or Claudius Tacumbo. So another thought came to my mind, and being a practicing, dedicated, and devoted Christian for what since 2003 for a while. uh, I would have called myself hardcore, and people would call me hardcore pursuer of God and Bible and all things spiritual, biblical knowledge, research, whatever you call it, uh, prayer, fasting, lifestyle, abstaining, devoting my life, abandoning a lot of things to make sure I'm walking upright. And and the reason why is because I had the mindset that the Bible was written to me because that's what I've been taught and what I've received. But now looking at it, that what you call it, like Christians are so defensive when it comes to their Bibles, which is rightly so, right? Because a lot of us have been taught that the Bible was written to us that you have to practice it. If you don't do this, you have to do this and that to attain salvation, to be loved by God, to be blessed, to be healed. You have to do all these things, right? But I realized that as soon as people can accept that the Bible was not directly written to them, they will receive a lot of freedom and be able to benefit from the full work of Jesus Christ. As long as you believe that the Bible was written to you directly, you have a hard time experiencing the fulfillment of all things that Christ did. All right? Of course, once again, I'm going to keep repeating myself over and over again. I don't care. I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over again. Right? As soon as we accept that the Bible was not written to you and I today, but it was the Bible, what we have today, that was written down, especially the New Testament. It is not the New Covenant. It was just a record of what was written that real people at a real time went through. People that God used to bring the end of the ages, the end of the old covenant to fruition and the activation of the New Testament, the new heavens and earth at that time. Those letters that was compiled today in the New Testament was letters that was written that was sent between real people at that time. They were going through. It was letters that they were going through, that the apostles and the teachers were reaching out to the 7 churches in Asia or the different churches within the body of Christ at that time. Because it was letters. Some letters are not complete, but it was letters that of what they were experiencing, of what they thought, what they felt they were commanded to do, how they followed Jesus, how they went through the tribulation, what to expect during the tribulation, how things going to finalize, how they have to sell everything, endure to the end, forsake family, friends, everything, giving all they have onto the death to the end of the world, till Jerusalem was destroyed in AD 70. And like I said, we are the beneficiaries of what we have today in the Bible. It wasn't necessarily written to you and I today. I mean, if you say that the Bible was written to you, then you're a liar. It was not written to us. It was not written to me. If I say the Bible was written to me today, I'm a liar. I'm not telling the truth. I'm a dishonest person. And when you try and share that with Christians, they flip out. I'm not, beneficiaries of what we have today in the form of what is called the Bible. We're the beneficiaries of those events, of those things, of those promises that was in there, that was all fulfilled. We're the beneficiaries. We benefit from those things, but it was not right. It was not into Paul, to the churches, Timothy, Peter, Barnabas, all those guys. That's not you today. It was real people. So it's dishonest to the scripture to say, to claim that the scripture was written to you. But it's honest to say, I know it was not written to me. And if you want to practice it, okay, that's one thing. But you have to understand that it was not written to you. But you're the beneficiary of what we have today on paper. That's the truth. And until Christians can accept that, they will miss the full blessings of what all Christ has done for them and for humanity. A lot of Christians are still waiting for Christ to fulfill certain aspect of the Bible. But everything was said to be fulfilled within that generation. Everything was said to be fulfilled within that generation. So if you feel like you're still waiting for something that Christ has not done, then you're missing out on the full benefits. You're still hoping and waiting for something, right? So how can you say that Christ said it is done, but yet you're still waiting for certain aspects of the Bible to be completed? So make up your mind. Did Christ said it is done and it is done? Or it is done, but there's something else that we need to wait for? Yes, he said it was done at that time, but they were in transition from the old to the new at that time. So yes, he died on the cross, he rose from the dead, right? It went back to be with the Father. It was still going to come back, even though it said it was done. It still hasn't returned. It was just a deposit of what is going to eventually be fully done when it comes back. So technically, I know Christians trying to say, yeah, Christ said it was done, that everything's done, but yet they're waiting for the second coming to happen, right? But at that time, he said it was done, but when he said it was done, he still told them to wait for his return. He still told them that Jerusalem was going to be destroyed and demolished. Matthew 24:34. He still tell them that when Jerusalem has been surrounded by army, flee to the mountains, right? And they did flee to the mountains. The Christians who obeyed Christ's word, they were saved. And those unbelieving people that remained, they perished in that destruction at that time. So, but when the second coming came, that's when all was finally completed. You have to see that. A lot of people miss that because they don't know the scriptures. They have not read the scriptures thoroughly and fully. Because if Christ has not come back, like he said it would in that generation, then your salvation has not been completed. Right? So like I said, I'm going to keep saying it again and again. You can say whatever you want. But the Bible was not written to you, to me. It was written to Timothy. It was written to Peter, Barnabas, and those guys, the first century. We are the beneficiaries of what took place. And the good news is not that Christ is accept Christ or go to hell. Is that the good news was that they were expecting for Christ to come in that generation, and the sign of that was the destruction of the temple at that time. It happened in 70 AD. Christ came back spiritually. A new heaven was activated. With new heaven was activated, and therefore there was a removal of the law at that time, because as long as the temple was standing, they still had an opportunity to go back to the temple. Some of those who were unbelieving, and they want to take heed at Christ's coming. But once the temple was destroyed, they knew for sure that there's no more law anymore, that God does not operate by the old covenant system again. But as long as the temple was standing, some of them will still had the opportunity to go back. That's when the author of Hebrews was encouraging them not to go back, because they'll be trampling Christ's sacrifice over again. And if they go back to that covenant system, that temple, that they're going to be met with fire, the destruction of Jerusalem, AD 70. That's why they sold all their goods. They sold everything, because Jerusalem was going to be destroyed, and they took Christ seriously. So today, if you really want to follow Christ, don't pick and choose the Bible. Don't say that Christ only told the young rich ruler to sell everything, or don't say that Christ only commanded the disciples and the apostles to sell everything and forsake all, and not you today. If you want to follow Jesus Christ today fully, then you gotta sell everything, forsake family, don't have no job, don't have no money in your bank, don't have no vehicle, sell it all, forsake all. Go out into the streets every day and preach the gospel and save everybody from hell, right? How many people have you saved from the hell this month? Huh? How many? How long have you stayed outside today preaching the gospel? If you truly believe in hell, right? Why are you home sitting in your AC conditioner watching TV? Get out there and save the people from hell. But most of us today, we don't do that. We just chilling, enjoying our life, right? People don't take the Bible seriously, or what Christ commanded. We just choose and pick from there. So we're able to choose and pick today because those things are not required of us today. Because if it was required of us today, then we would be more serious, like they were in the first century when they sold all of it. They had this shit in Acts. They sold everything. Everybody had everything in common. Nothing was anybody's. They shared it all together. Why we're not doing that today? We don't believe that. If you believe that Christ is coming and the world is going to end, at least it was Jerusalem, right? It wasn't the planet. So once again, the Bible was not written to me. If you said the Bible was written to you directly, then you're a liar. You're not telling the truth. But if you say it was not written to me, but I can benefit from it, then yes, I agree that. Now, like I said, if you want to practice it, even though it's not required for you, it was not to you specifically, it was just a biography of real people, real culture, real time frame. Right? If you want to practice, go ahead. But you're not going to be blessed one way or the other. God's not going to favor you anyway. God sees all people today because of what Christ did as righteous before him. And that's where I've come to conclude. And for me, that's given me more freedom than ever. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So anyways, once again, I'm going to keep repeating myself. I'm going to do more videos. I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over again. The Bible is not written to me. I wasn't commanded to follow the Bible. The fisher of the scriptures, of what happened. I got you, first century believers, to go through the tribulations, because the end of their world, Jerusalem, the temple, the Jewish economy, the sacrificial system was coming to an end, and it did in AD 70. And that's the good news, that because of that, because of one man's transgression, Adam, the first Adam, all became sinners. But because of one man's righteous act, the second Adam, Jesus, all men, all humanity became righteous. Voila. And that's it. You're blessed.